This is Comic Picks by the Glick.
Hey, and I'm your host, Jason Glick.
Hey, host Jason Glick. How are you doing?
Hey, co-host John Murphy, how you doing?
Um, um, well, I want this week to be over already, so it's one of those.
That's terrible.
Yeah,
It's Tuesdays we're doing this, so you got the worst of it yet to come.
that's right. So what do you have for us this time?
Okay, well, for those of you who've been keeping track of the stuff I write on the website, you notice I talked in my review of Black Adam. I talked about how a buddy of mine had been loading me all these volumes of Justice Society of America. God, I have to enunciate that. For a while, basically he's owing me just about everything that the series writer Geoff Johns, one of DC's big guns, the man who made Green Lantern cool again, has been writing for the series for a while. I mean, basically he's been writing this series longer than he wrote the series for longer than he has for Green Lantern, and basically this is and he managed to reestablish the team as one of the DC universe's more interesting super teams, because the thing about the JSA is that they're the team that is made up of DC's Golden Age heroes. Like, you've got their anchors are the Golden Age Flash, Jay Garrick, Golden Age Green Lantern, Alan Scott, and Wildcat, who has no superpowers to speak of, but he is basically a professional boxer and fighter. And if you need more proof of his credentials, he's the man who taught Batman how to box. That's all you need to know about him.
Yep.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, a lot of the characters who used to be in the JSA are now being their names and identities have been assumed by newer characters, like the Flash, Green Lantern, and Wildcat. Well, they've been replaced. They've had other characters share their names over the years. A lot of the original people who have these roles have been replaced by younger, less experienced heroes. And basically, the JSA has basically existed to bring these new heroes into the fold and basically give them proper guidance, and show them what it means to be a true hero in the DC universe. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and talk about all the stuff that Johns wrote over the series, because we'd be here all fucking night. I will say that that the first series, which you can identify as regular just JSA, that was pretty entertaining. It has the team fighting big superhero threats in the vein of Grant Morrison's just JLA relaunch, and then it's in the 90s. It's generally pretty fun, and yeah, it's very continuity dense. So if you're not looking for a history lesson on the DC universe, it might not be for you. But I will say there are plenty of good stories here, and it's also cool to see how Johns evolves his characters over time, especially like I said in my review of Black Adam. His evolution as a character from from villain to teammate to dictator over the course of John's run on the regular series was really one of the highlights. And then also gives credit for introducing us to new characters such as the new Star Girl, and also making a guy and the new Mr. Terrific, who basically it's impressive because Mr. Terrific is kind of in theory he'd just be a huge joke, because his Golden Age incarnation was this one guy who was just really rich and really smart and just went into fights with the words in a uniform with the words "fair play" emblazoned on his chest. There's a reason Wizard listed him as one of the lamest characters of the month during this issue's run, and he's a very hard character to take seriously. But when they introduced Michael Thompson as the new Mr. Terrific, he actually did a good job of selling him on, making him a real credible character. As he's the third smartest man in the world, he's basically the team's Batman. He's the guy who will think up the solutions. When fighting fails, he's the guy who comes up with a solution that solves everything using his brain power. So, but really, the highlight of the series, I think, was the JSA arc back in Volume 10, where the current team traveled back in time to to World War II, to the World War II era, and met the original team from the Golden Age. They teamed up to stop this evil time traveling Nazi from ruining the future. It was great, epic stuff, and also it also had one scene that just really stands out in my mind about how the current Stargirl's family was basically brutally murdered in front of her eyes. I mean, I see this and I'm thinking like, dude, okay, I know you want to establish this guy as a credible threat, but dude, to kill her family in cold blood like that, oh, that's fucked up, man. You can't do that. And this lasts for a while until I realized, wait, this is a time travel story. They're going to fix it by the end, right?
Right.
Yes. So as soon as I got over that, it's like I really started to get into the story. Now, the thing is, I mentioned this and that's because like when we're coming to talk about like the relaunched version, which basically gives the series the full title, Justice Society of America. Johns winds up doing that same kind of shtick again, only it's actually for real this time. Because the thing is, like with the new series, which basically begins with the volume The Next Age, they like Johns does a good job of streamlining the series focus, introducing some new characters to further the series agenda of basically being a legacy title, having the characters from the old school showing the new school how to be a hero, and I said I liked it, but the thing, and he Johns does a good job of establishing the characters, making them interesting, showing lots of good rapport between the entire series. I mean, no, they're not they're not like a huge military or reactive superhero team, but they're just they're almost like a family. Like seeing these guys interact with each other, and it's a lot of fun seeing them interact this way. But the problem is that when for this introductory arc, Johns really goes too far in establishing the bad guys. A bunch of neo-Nazis called the Fourth, superpowered neo-Nazis called the Fourth Reich. Basically, goes too far in the sense that when they're introducing the character who will become the new Commander Steel, a guy who had steel skin back in World War II, his new the Nazis show up and they just basically massacre like 3/4 of his entire family at their family reunion. I'm seeing this, it's dude, it's I know you want to establish these guys as complete badasses, but geez, man, this is just really pointless slaughter. I mean, yeah, I know that that superhero comics have gotten more mature and more violent over the years, but I realize that they're still written better than ever. I wouldn't trade the status how they are today to go back to turn the clock back into some sort of a more kid-friendly time. Now, some say that's part. I know a lot of people say that's a bigger center of what's wrong with the industry today. But it's that's another argument right here. So I'm just going to dodge that bullet. Get back to the point that Johns just goes way beyond the pale right here by slaughtering this guy's family in broad daylight. It overshoots the mark, and I just got the feeling okay, I understand what you're trying to go for here, that these guys are out to try and wipe out the next generation of Justice Society members, but really, it's I would have liked to have seen this do an old fashioned death trap, just we're going to kill these people, but first you have to fight us, and you won't be able to beat us in time in order to save them, kind of deal, so overall, it's not a bad introduction. Once you get past that stuff, but still, it's just kind of oh man, that's harsh, really harsh indeed. I'm just really hung up on that. And even though it's got its high points, seeing the immensely talkative Cyclone just express her glee at joining the team as Power Girl and Mr. Terrific stand shell shocked in front of a wall of text. That was fun. Seeing Wildcat meet up with his son and try to reestablish a relationship with him, that came off that came off really well, especially once we found out that his son actually has powers of his own. So that was cool, and the new Starman, who, it's like I like him, even though I realize that the guy is like crazy in the way that's friendly and that's very audience friendly. Not that he's not like he's schizophrenic, but he's schizophrenic in the way that it's like, hey, that he just he breaks into song every once in a while. He talks about how he likes sloppy joes on Wednesdays at the asylum, and yeah, it's very cheeseball. He's not really credible as like a crazy person at all. But I still kind of like him. I keep being reminded of Robert Downey Jr.'s "You went full retard" speech in Tropic Thunder. Because it's like if he'd gone like a full schizophrenic character, probably would have been shattered the tone of the series. But here, he's funny and amusing. Yeah, but this is only the first volume, and the next 3 volumes of the series are basically one huge arc called Thy Kingdom Come. And this is basically a sequel, or no, not a sequel. It's an interquel to Mark Waid and Alex Ross's superhero epic Kingdom Come, easily one of the best DC stories of the 90s. Now, for those of you unfamiliar with the story, just checking to see if a few out there might be. It's basically about how it's basically set in the future of the DC universe, and how like the younger heroes just got run completely amok and are just causing more chaos than good, and how Superman, who has been in retirement for years, comes back to lead the to beat some of them, basically just like lead the heroes in resurgence and just like restore order. But is his approach ultimately causing more harm than good? It's a great story. I highly recommend you check it out. And this one, well, it doesn't disrespect the memory of the original series, but I wouldn't say it actually like really adds a whole lot to it either. Because basically this story has the Superman from Kingdom Come arriving in the DC universe and meeting up with the Justice Society. Because as he tells them, like, one of the reasons that things got so out of control in our world was because the Justice Society didn't reform, and so now he's hanging out with them just to see their approach and to see whether or not things are going to go the same way as they did in his universe. Thing is, things take a turn towards that direction when a villain named Gog shows up and starts wreaking havoc. Gog was one of the let's see, I'm trying to remember. Gog and Magog are biblical characters who were also adopted for Kingdom Come. Magog was the main villain, was the main antagonist for Superman's quest in the original Kingdom Come. And so when this Gog guy shows up, they wonder if this is going to be herald the arrival of the Kingdom Come. Turns out it doesn't quite, because it heralds the arrival of an actual old god named Gog himself, one of the gods from the third world who was cast down into Earth. So he shows up, and he winds up, and he's basically wants to just make the world better. He heals people, cures Starman's schizophrenia. He gives Dr. Midnight back his sight. He heals damages face. He ends a bunch of conflicts in the Congo. He just basically does all these good things. But the thing is, and this wins a lot of people. This splits the JSA in two, as some people think, oh no, this guy's the bee's knees. He's just great. Why wouldn't you want to follow this guy and have him reshape the Earth? And you got the other ones who go, we know he's good and all, but the thing is, he's also we've seen this kind of thing before. We know that there's eventually going to be a catch. And to John's credit, he does a good job of selling Gog's good intentions. even up to the point where he winds up creating a Magog, and that's basically like a huge red flag for the Kingdom Come Superman, who thinks that, okay, yeah, things are actually going to go towards my timeline now. That's just great for the rest of you guys. So it's like, but the thing is that as much as this, like, I like how this series does connect with with JSA's themes of legacy, about how like how Magog is created, and also just it also does and also just how it does talk a bit about does go into a bit more detail about Superman from Kingdom Come. Because I did like Alex Ross's solo issue where he wrote and illustrated, shows you what the Kingdom Come Superman was. Let's see, was up what he was doing when the Joker showed up in Metropolis and killed Lois Lane and a bunch of other people from the Daily Planet. It's got some fantastic art from the man. I'll say what you will about his style, but even though it's very heavily photo referenced, it's actually not distracting the way that like Greg Land's style is. But it also does add a bit to the overall Kingdom Come story as well compared to the rest of the arc. So that was interesting. But the real weakness of this story is basically the whole bit with Gog himself. I mean, even though John sells his good intentions, it's ultimately a story of, hey, he's actually not on the up and up. Like, yeah, he might think that his intentions are good, but ultimately, it's like he's really no better than any than any other would-be benevolent conqueror.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of disappointing, because it's like I don't know, it's like these kind of stories are hard to do well. I mean, like Johns gets her halfway, but but anyone reading this, just look at God and just go, dude, it's like, he's going to be bad in the end. They're gonna have to team up and throw him and kick him off the earth in the end. And ultimately, yeah, that's what happens. And then Superman from Kingdom Come realizes, eventually I got to go back to my time, and he does so in a way that it's like it's seeing how it's hard. The thing is, like, he goes back he's reinserted the story of Kingdom Come at such a point that it makes you wonder. It's like, was he really affected by his time here? Like, if he hadn't experienced his time with the JSA, would he have still acted the same way in the series? I don't know. It's an interesting question to ponder, but I don't know.
It's neither here nor there.
Yeah. It's like I said. If I want to recommend anything, I'd recommend you go. Probably it's probably, if you've never read Kingdom Come, I'd say go ahead and read that. Go ahead and read that first. And this one, Kingdom Come, well, it's certainly a hell of a lot more expensive than picking up a copy of Kingdom Come. But it's like it's still a decent JLA story. It's just that the problem is it just falls into the same kind of traps that these stories about benevolent conquerors usually do. And then, however, after that volume was John's last story arc in the series. It's called Black Adam and Isis. This basically has him come back to the character of Black Adam and the love of his life, Isis, who did come back in Black Adam's miniseries, but she wasn't actually reunited with him then. Thing is though, is that while she was introduced in the DC's weekly miniseries 52 as basically Black Adam's better, more benevolent half. She eventually upon her death in the series, she eventually realized that, hey, Adam's way of might makes right was actually right, and then when she's revived now, she basically wants vengeance against the world that killed her brother, and basically just like she sees no good in it, and she wants this world destroyed. And Adam, well, he loves her, so he's going to go and help her as well. Naturally the JSA, they got to stop him.
They have a problem with that.
Yeah. Yep. And so they go and stop him, and it's it's like it's a decent closeout, but it's also like basically it posits the idea that Black Adam's power is inherently corruptive, and it's like on one hand, like just the thing is though that seeing Adam's arc, it also shows you one of the larger problems of like superhero stories, and that not stuff can't actually end. It's like because Adam had a really interesting arc over the course of like John's JSA run into 52, and even through his miniseries, even though I thought it was mostly kind of useless. But now and his arc here basically exists to try and basically like bring things to an end, or for now anyway, or at least show Adam, this is where your powers lead, and is what are you gonna do about it? It's an interesting end, but it's kind of, but it's like you just know that even though you can like why Johns chose to end it this way, it also leaves things. It just you just know it's like someone is going to pick up on it. In fact, he even sets that up like at the very end of that issue. So. But so yeah, no. Even though like Johns is done with the character, you just kind of wonder, will whoever does it next, will it be as interesting? That's kind of the same. That's a good question for the rest of the series because Johns left JSA after this volume and turned it over to Bill Willingham and Matthew Sturgis for the Bad Seed, which basically showed the JSA being split in two between being like do we want to be like more like a reactive superhero team, like show like hey, we found out that like more superhuman Nazis are coming to take out the town. Are we gonna go just like fight them, or and then are we just gonna go and fight them off and save the day? Or after we fight them off, do we just go and track them down to their house, beat them down, and just like make sure they can't come back anymore? That kind of thing. Proactive versus reactive.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like this volume, that volume, and the next volume, Axis Evil, which has them fighting off like more Nazis, because that's the thing about like these Golden Age heroes, like it always comes back to Nazis.
Yeah, they're the bad guys.
Yeah.
Universally recognized.
Yep. Indeed, and specific to the time they were created as well. And I will give Willingham credit for doing a nice two-part story where the JSA takes on their old nemesis Mordru, and they meet up with the new Dr. Fate as well. That was a good two-part arc, and the arc that followed, Fatherland, is a pretty decent Ultimate Future arc, and fun in the way that it shows you like, hey, all the superheroes are beaten down, like even Batman and Superman, everyone was basically grounded underneath this new Nazi regime thanks to their secret weapon. It's like it's not bad. But I'm pretty sure like Willingham left the series after this. So afterwards, it's like it's like, is there any reason to keep reading this series? Well, I'll probably keep reading it as long as my buddy John keeps tossing new volumes at me. But for everyone else, I don't know. It's like for a good JSA read, I'd say maybe just go and pick up like volume 10 of John's original run, Mixed Signals, and it's like for the JSA arc. Everything else, well, I don't know. It's not that it's as bad, but on one hand, it's got the usual complaints I offer for a lot of DC and major superhero stuff, and that it's very continuity dense, and that it's got some issues. I mean, like Kingdom Come has a very epic sweep to it, but does it really like add up to anything in the end? Well, it's not bad, but it's not something I'm really passionate about. Ultimately, I'm glad I borrowed all this stuff rather than buying it myself. Make of that what you will.
That's it.
Okay. Yeah, and on that note, I think I've babble on for long enough. So, going to go and call it a night, and next time, well, let's just say I'll try to write up the new volume of Blade of the Immortal so that I don't, devote another podcast to it in 2 weeks' time.
All right. Well, we'll see you next time.
Okay, laters.